hello, you all. I am so excited for today. This is your girl, Soraya Parker Pill, on my podcast with me. You right, Soraya. Please subscribe. All please subscribe and share every week, 12 o'clock on Friday. We will have something always spicy for you. I want to introduce you today. She is so dear to my heart. She's like a best friend, a mother, a aunt, and all those little goodies that you want from your elders. Her name is Renita Chilton. Today's topic will be called A Mess into a Message. She have given me the honor to be able to come on here and to tell us some hot stuff today on how she was from a mess to becoming a message. Hello, Renita. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
It seemed like we're having some trouble here. Your mic is not on. You're on my phone. I'm sorry.
Oh, but
Well, until we get the technical difficulties taken care of, we would just say that I do want to have a big shout out to my marketing director. She has been so amazing, and she have done so much stuff that I couldn't even imagine to help me see where I'm going and growing into. Renita, are you with us yet? Well, one thing about me, I'm very transparent. Things happen. They don't always be as you want it. So I guess I'm going to call her on her phone and let her do. I'm calling her, y'all. I'm calling her and let her do her message through the phone.
hello, the mic is on my side.
Okay, so I just told the listeners that we're going to just do something different. I'm gonna call you from my phone, and I'll just let you do your story through that. You know the enemy always trying to work, especially when you know you're going places and you're definitely trying to do it for the right things at the right time. So Renita, you have the floor now.
Okay, hot topics. Um, and I must call this hot topics with cool solutions. Um, and my topic is about how I used to be and how I am today. And I'm trying to reach people that think that they are caught up in a cycle that they cannot get out of. Any form of addiction, any form. Everybody talks about drug addiction because that's obvious. But how about addicted to food? What about addicted to gambling? What about addicted to shopping? What about addicted to sex? There are a lot of addictions, and from my life, it's trying to fill a void. If you don't know it, I hope that you listen. If you're addicted to anything, you're trying to fill a part of you that can only be filled with a spirituality. I'm going to call it God, but it must be something greater and more powerful than you. And that's my story. Caught up in the worst behavior you can ever imagine. Yes, I am proud to say that I am 71, going on 72. And if you could really see me, and I'm not being vain, I look really good. But I can't take any credit. It's because almost 30 years ago, I was pulled out of the gutter. I was pulled out of the alleys. I was pulled out of the back seats of cars. I was pulled out of that lifestyle, and I was shown a new way to live, and I followed that path. for 29 years. And it's like you don't have to do it all at once. All you have to do is want to do it. Just want to. Just ask God for willingness. God, give me willingness to want to be out of this. And one day at a time, one step at a time, what God did for me, He will do it for you. I believe a God, a higher power, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't want you all messed up. Doesn't want you in the mess. Doesn't want you in pain. Doesn't want you in agony. That's not what a higher power, what God would want. Everything in moderation. And a girl like me did everything to an extreme. Couldn't do a little bit, had to do a lot. So I'm the girl who surrendered to the fact that I can't do a little bit. I can't eat one potato chip. I can't have one sexual encounter. If I have one, I have to have a lot. You know, that might not be your story, but that's mine. I can't have one drink. If I have a drink, I have to get drunk. And I'm kind of glad that what I've gone through, because I want to help others. And I'm on this podcast for the specific desire to help others. I've been blessed to be all up and down the East Coast and some of the Midwest, being able to share my story, not for vain purposes. It ain't about me. I can't allow what I went through to be for nothing. If I could help somebody, just one person, then my living will not be in vain. Then all I went through won't be for nothing. That's my hope. That's my hope. Yeah, I'd like to bring 1,000 with me. But if I could just help one, then I feel like I can say a job well done. It seemed hard in the beginning. How can I do this? Let's talk about smoking cigarettes. I mean, we can talk about drugs, alcohol, and all that too. But let's start with something that maybe other people can relate to. You can be addicted to cigarette smoking. A whole lot of people can't stop smoking cigarettes. People with a diagnosis of cancer can't stop smoking cigarettes. I was just talking to a woman, she can't stop. She was crying. She said, Renita, I wish I could stop. I told her my story. I love to smoke. Cigarette, that nicotine has a way of calming you down. That nicotine has a way of being a comfort. Ain't nothing like a cigarette after you eat a meal. Hey, I'm going to go here. A cigarette after good sex. Cigarette after bed. It's never a cigarette. You know, so my story is this. Once I decided I wanted to live and I gave up everything else, I gave up cigarettes. Oh, God. Of all of the addictions that I had, cigarettes was the hardest one. First of all, it wasn't illegal to smoke cigarettes. The price had went up from $1.25 to $3 and change. And I cannot believe how much cigarettes cost today. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I was motivated because I didn't want to pay that much. Then I was motivated because I wasn't putting all that rest of my junk in me. I wanted to be totally clean. I wanted to be clean inside. And there was nothing about smoking cigarettes that was clean. And I had little children walking down the street with me, and I get a little emotional when I think about my grandchildren walking down McEldy Street. We're on our way to church, and I'm smoking my cigarette in one hand and had the Bible in my other hand. And they said, Grandma, please stop smoking. Mm-mm-mm. Well, all of a sudden, I knew that was a message. And I didn't stop right away. I practiced anything that you want to stop. Practice it. Just practice it. It's not going to happen a lot of times immediately, but I started practicing not smoking. Next thing you know, I threw a pack of cigarettes away. Next thing you know, I'm just telling you the truth. I had to pray. So whatever you use for your strength spiritually, just pray. And next thing you know, no, I'm not going to say the desire was gone, but the willingness to stop smoking was there. And eventually, a day at a time, I stopped smoking. Let me tell you the truth. I had mood swings. I had everything that comes with letting go of an addiction. Oh, yeah, everybody understands the drugs and everything else, but cigarette smoking, killing my brothers and sisters. And I didn't mean to go here, but you know, sometimes when you go from that mess to the message, you just have to let God do what God do. Hey, I'm just saying, I love to smoke, enjoyed it. Let me tell you, after about 25, 26 years of not smoking, sometimes I still want a cigarette. But you know, once you've been delivered from the addiction, don't go back. Don't go back. You don't have to. They say a desire only really lasts for about 7 minutes. It seems like an eternity. But just sit still and feel. And when I'm speaking about that, anything that you've given up that's not good for you, and you get that trigger, be it whatever it is, money, the wrong people, when you're angry, and you think the solution is something that you shouldn't have, and you want to do it, just sit still and feel it. I bet you it goes away. I guarantee you, or your money back. It will go away. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. There's a lot that I can say. Maybe I'll get another opportunity at another time. But yeah, from a mess to a message. Sit still and feel. One day I'll talk about grief. I can talk about depression, mental illness. All of these things are prevalent, and I don't leave anybody out. But from that mess to the message, I'm a registered nurse today. I could retire, but I don't want to because my people need me. I hate the emotional part of me, I'm telling you.
Okay, that's okay. We need to hear the very transparent of all of this. That's the only way we can help others.
Yeah, and that's just the truth. I'm a nurse. I could retire. I have money to retire. I have more money by not retiring. I love my life. I travel. Love to travel. And these are some of the opportunities when you come from a mess to a message. I have people in my life that love me for real. Love me. And guess what? I love them too. And when you're a mess, you don't really have the ability to love. You think you do, but only superficial. Once you get that junk out of you, whatever it is, and you get in a relationship that with other people that also say, I'm not doing that junk anymore, and they say, I love you, and they love themselves. See, how can you love somebody when you don't even love yourself? And we are taught to love ourselves, and we are given the ability to love others. My God said, love him first and then love your neighbor. And that's what we learn to do. Love, I believe, will cover all that's going on in our community, in our city, in our state, in our nation. If we can just learn to love again, from a mess to a message. My name is Renita, and I hope I can come back.
That is amazing. So amazing. I want to say that I really, really look up to you. It's crazy how we met. We met when I was starting my journey. And it's I asked you for some help and you were willing to help me. I mean, and that right there showed me so much love, because I didn't know how to love myself, and learning how to love around people that's loving you before you know how to love yourself. It's weird. It's very weird, but it's something that actually teaches you how love is. Love is unconditional. Agape love is basically what people need to learn how to do, and that's loving people for who they are, regardless if it's bad or good. It's the love that keep us alive. And you have mentored me for about over 5 years now. Over 5 years now, and you're a great mentor. It was like I wanted to jump out my skin when you actually took the opportunity to say, yes, I'll do a podcast with you. And then you just basically told the listeners today, and I was just so excited that you're coming back 3 other times from today. So there will be a part 4 to this, because we're going to talk about the grief. We're going to talk about it was something else you said you wanted to talk about. So much you wanted to talk about. And this podcast is going to give many people opportunities to talk about the realness of these things that we went through or someone else is going through. And maybe we were able to save their life today just because we were willing to tell our story. We was willing to let people know you're not alone. We go through it too. Like the depression. I've went through really, really bad depression stages, but they're not as bad as it was since I got clean. I learned how to deal with those type of things. And this is the type of things that our listener needs to know, that okay, they not alone, but here she's a registered nurse and she goes through depression. Oh, well, Soraya, she have all these, she's an entrepreneur and she's an author, but this girl still go through depression too. She still cry. She still, have triggers on things. I just don't respond to them the way I would if I was out there anymore. I always try to learn to be a better person because I always want to be the person to be able to help someone through it all. So I've always, every single day, I am, and I walk as an example of what I want others to do when it comes to being in my life. And no one is perfect. That's one of my biggest flaws, wanting everything perfect. Nothing can be perfect. Nothing can be perfect. The only perfect thing I know of is God. But I also know I'm a mini God. I have to be seen in the reflection of him. So the more God that's inside of me, the more people can see God when they're talking to me, when they're listening to me, when they, see me. I want the first thing they see is say, that girl got God in her. That is what I work for every single day. And Renita, I'm glad you let people know that you're a registered nurse. But what they don't know, and I'm just being transparent, and I hope this is okay with you, is that you found out that you was very sick today. You came down with something and you thought it was just a cold, but it was a little bit more than that. And you still pulled through and got on this podcast to let people know where you came from mess to showing that you can give a message through it all. That is amazing. That is amazing. And that remind me of myself because I woke up this morning and I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk the day after I came out of a facility, um and it was really cold in there, so it was the same type of pain. But I knew I had work to do. I had to shampoo some carpet today. So as I'm shampooing this carpet, I didn't feel the pain at all. But as soon as I stopped shampooing the carpet and I was walking to my car, the pain came back. You know, and the enemy really did not want this podcast to happen today. All technical stuff was going on with the stage that usually never goes on. Your mic wasn't working. I called you, and then you still did the podcast. One thing we can totally say, and we're gonna get off the line after this. If you really, really want it, you can have it. No one ever said it was easy to get there. But me personally, I don't want anything that was easy to get in my life. I want to believe that everything that I have is because I earned it, because I'm supposed to have it. I did something to be able to have that person do that for me because it was a give and take type of thing, you know. And I just want to say I love you so much, Renita. Renita, I want you to get well. Hopefully you'll be able to do another show next week. If not next week, maybe next month. That would be great for a part two. Um, Everybody, please, 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 please subscribe. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We're still trying to get to 1,000. Subscribe and share. Also share. Whatever is not for you does not mean you're not connected to someone that the message is for. So always think outside of the box. What can I do to help another? Please get my first book. If you have not gotten my first book yet, Miss Soraya Parker is already on her fourth book. Second book came international and number one seller in 6 categories. That is some big stuff. And I was a co-owner of that one. I mean, author of that one. Co-author of that one. The third book is about to get published, which is a journal that I did. And the fourth book is going to be a sequel of the first book. So I love you all. One thing I can say is keep your head up. No matter what it is, you can turn your mess into a message. Renita, before we go out of this stage today, is there anything else you would like to say to our listeners?
There is nothing too hard for God. Nothing. And if He can do it for Soraya, if He can do it for me, He can do it for you. So never give up hope. And we're never going to give up on anybody because God never gave up on us. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, y'all, we are out of here. One thing I always wanted to let you know is no matter what it is, try to keep a smile on your face. I don't care what it is that comes your way. Believe you me, it's not going to always be the same. Thank you. Subscribe. We love you. And now we are out.